Assalamualaikum, my name is Jafar Izwan bin Jafar. My matrix number is TA22012 and this is the assignment for engineering ethics.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Risha Azdi bin Muhammad. My matric number TA21022.
Assalamualaikum. Hi everybody. My name is Muhammad Afandi bin Kadir. My student ID is TA22003.
The ethical analysis of the purpose scenario under utilitarianism depends on how one interprets and applies the principle of utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is a consequentialist ethical theory that evaluates the morality of action based on the overall happiness or pleasure they are produced. In simplistic terms, an action is considered ethical if it maximizes overall happiness or minimizes overall suffering. In case of Bernard Williams kidnapping scenario, a utilitarian might argue that shooting one person to save the life of the remaining 20 would result in greater overall happiness or pleasure. The idea is that sacrificing one life to save 20 lives might be seen as a net gain in terms of happiness. However, there are several criticisms and challenges to this utilitarian perspective. One major criticism is that utilitarianism seems to overlook or undervalue certain moral principles, such as individual right and justice. In the purpose scenario, shooting an innocent person contradicts widely held moral intuition about the sanctity of human life and the right to life. Additionally, some argue that utilitarianism can lead to moral objectionable outcome, as it may justify sacrificing the well-being of a few for the greater good of the many. This challenges our common moral intuition about the intrinsic value of each individual. In response to this scenario, some people might argue that it is ethically unacceptable to shoot an innocent person, regardless of the potential overall happiness. They might emphasize the importance of protecting individual rights and the moral principles, even it is mean a less affordable outcome from a utilitarian standpoint. Ultimately, individuals may differ in their ethical perspective, and the acceptability of the purpose action under utilitarianism will depend on their interpretation of the theory and their personal moral values. It was noting that this scenario is a theoretical and extreme moral dilemma, and real-world situations are often more complex and nuanced. Ethical decision-making is multifaceted and involved considering various factors beyond just the immediate consequences.
So, as mentioned Risha earlier, the case study is about Josh giving option by terrorists. Killing or not killing is one of the companions. Is it ethical under utilitarianism? So for me, this is a classic ethical dilemma, as known as a trolley problem or the killing one to save many. It presents a moral and ethical challenge with no easy answer. Under utilitarianism perspective, in its basic form, holds that the morally right action is the one that maximizes overall happiness or pleasure and maximize suffering, as Encik Risha mentioned earlier. In this scenario, the utilitarian might have argued that sacrificing one person to save the other's life or the other's life could be seen as ethically justifiable because it minimizes the overall suffering or harm. Do I agree with this action? By killing? No. For me, there are significant ethical concerns and criticism with this approach. First, it treats individuals as a mere means to the end, which can be seen as morally objectionable. It also raised questions about the moral duty to protect innocent life, as well as the implication of endorsing a moral principle that allows for the intentional killing of one person to save others. So many critics of utilitarianism argue that there are inherent morals, limits, and rights that should not be violated, regardless of the potential of overall utility. In this case, one could argue that the act of intentionally killing an innocent person is inherently wrong. And so, for me, there are several actions that George could be taken. One, refusal to shoot. Some individual might argue that this refusing to shoot friend is ethically justifiable, even under utilitarianism. Yeah, they might contend that intentionally causing harm to an innocent person, even to save others, is morally wrong. So why refusal to shoot? Because my reason is from a deontological perspective, where actions are judged based on their adherence to moral principle. Refusing to shoot an innocent person aligns with the principle of not intentionally causing harm to others. Some individually might argue that certain actions are inherently wrong, regardless of the potential consequences. Secondly, second action is go to the negotiation with the terrorists or seeking help. Attempting to negotiate with the terrorists, stalling for a time, or seeking help for the authorities could be the alternative actions. This approach may aim to find a solution that minimizes harm without directly causing harm to an innocent person. And why is the best action is from the utilitarian perspective, seeking alternative solution that avoid causing direct harm to an innocent person might be seen as more in line with maximizing overall happiness. The emphasis is on finding a resolution that minimizes suffering for everyone involved.
Assalamualaikum. And for the ethics assignment, the question was: terrorists capture George and 20 companions. The leader of the terrorists makes George the following proposition: if you shoot just one of your friends, I will let the others go free. If you do not, then I will kill them all. So, again, under utilitarianism, is this ethical right? So, under utilitarianism, okay, what we've learned so far from Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, utilitarianism is very goal-oriented. Action can be judged by their consequences. Goal is the common good thing, maximizing happiness, meaning the most happy outcome is the best solution. The greatest good for the greatest number, yes. It has percentage for what the final outcome. So, based on utilitarianism, in this case, where I shoot one and the other will be free, right? So, under utilitarianism, this is okay. So, do you agree with the action under utilitarianism? No, definitely not. This is about integrity. Either you're killing one or killing more. This is about integrity. Are you willing to sacrifice someone's life? No, my answer is no. So, what action should be taken? So, maybe for me, I have two solutions, I think. Number one is negotiate further with the terrorist leader. Also, maybe we can prank the terrorist leader to change the situation, opposite the situation. Or maybe if both does not work, I prefer 1v1 combat, hands-on combat, 1-to-1 battle. Why? So why it's lesser of a heartbreak? If you die, you die as a shahid. If not, you are a warrior, right? You are a hero. So this is why. This is my answer. Thank you.
My conclusion is it is important to note that ethical dilemmas can be complex and often involve conflicting values. Different ethical frameworks may yield different conclusions, and individuals may have diverse perspectives on what actions are morally justifiable in such situations. Additionally, real-world ethical decisions are influenced by context, cultural value, and personal belief. Thank you.